You don't live in a democracy. You live in a financial system, one that decides who wins wars, who builds empires, and who stays poor. It doesn't need a king. It doesn't need an army. It rules through contracts, credit, and quiet obedience. And the greatest trick money ever pulled was convincing the world that it was neutral. Welcome to the financial timeline, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. We're told money is a tool, a way to measure value, to trade one thing for another. But what if that's the myth? What if money isn't a tool, but a system of control designed not to measure value, but to extract it? For most of history, money was real. Gold, silver, grain, land, wealth you could touch, trade, and store. If you wanted more, you had to earn it or take it. Then came the idea that changed everything. Money doesn't need to exist, as long as people believe it does. China, 11th century, the Song dynasty creates the world's first paper currency. No metal, no gold, just promises backed by imperial decree. It worked until the government printed too much. Trust collapsed, and so did the currency. The illusion disappeared, but the idea survived. Fast forward to medieval Europe. Italian merchants invent letters of credit paper promises safer than hauling gold across dangerous roads. Paper didn't just store value. It multiplied it. Then came the Medici, with double-entry bookkeeping. A bland name for a revolutionary weapon, they learned to create money with ink instead of metal. Loans became assets. Debt became wealth. Numbers replaced gold. Merchants replaced kings. In the 1600s, the Dutch took the next step. They invented the joint stock company, an empire you could buy shares in. Profit separated from labor. Ownership replaced effort. Then England copied the model and perfected it. The British East India Company had ships, armies, taxes, even its own currency. A corporation that governed people. A hybrid of state and business. Behind the Union Jack, balance sheets ruled the world. The British government, drowning in war debt, turns to private finance. In exchange for rescuing the state, those financiers gain the right to issue paper money backed by government debt. The more the government owned, the more money they could print. Debt became fuel. War became limitless. For the first time in history, bankers ruled kings. The 19th century brought the rise of global banking dynasties. The Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Barons. They didn't just lend money. They financed revolutions, brokered peace, and bailed out governments. Their product wasn't gold. It was trust, engineered, manufactured, sold. Every crisis made them stronger. Every bailout tightened their grip. By the end of the century, the world still had nations. But the real empire was financial. 1913. The Federal Reserve is born, officially public, practically private. The U.S. government no longer issues money. It borrows it with interest. Then World War II reshapes the world. 1944. Bretton Woods makes the U.S. dollar the anchor of global trade. Whoever controls the dollar controls the world. 1971. Nixon ends the gold standard. The dollar becomes pure belief. Money becomes abstraction. Now, the system doesn't need resources to grow. It only needs credit. Governments borrow to spend. Corporations borrow to expand. People borrow to live. Debt doesn't weaken the system. It feeds it. Inflation quietly taxes everyone. Asset prices inflate for the wealthy, and the cost is carried by workers whose wages never catch up. The 2008 crisis proved the truth. When the system collapses, the people are sacrificed. The institutions are saved, not because of conspiracy, but because of dependence. You can opt out of politics. You can't opt out of money. The next stage isn't coming. It's here. Digital money. Programmable money. central bank digital currencies. Every transaction traceable, every account controllable, every behavior influenceable, not through force, but through convenience. This is the end of a 700-year journey from gold coins to digital code. The system doesn't need to hide anymore. It just needs you to keep participating. All systems of illusion collapse. Rome debased its currency. The French monarchy drowned in printed assignats. The British pound lost its empire to debt. Every time, the pattern ends the same. Belief breaks, and when it does, the people who truly understand money become the architects of what comes next. You can't destroy the system, but you can outgrow it. Learn how it works. Stop confusing digits with value. Build what can't be printed. Knowledge, skills, real assets, independent thinking, because the only currency the system can't inflate is awareness. If this shifted your perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers, and I'll show you where to look.